Hey everybody, welcome back to The Score. My name is Callie Montague, your host, and on this episode, Chelsea Shaffer sits down with Joseph Harrison to remember Street. Street was Joseph's 2004 model gelding who was registered as Main Street Boon. He was by the great Pepto Boonsmal and out of Playboy's Ruby by Freckles Playboy. He carried Joseph to some of his biggest wins of his career, and without spoiling the episode, Chelsea and Joseph do think they surpassed $1 million in earnings by the time it was all said and done. Of course, in the early days, he didn't track every jackpot dollar, all of the things, but they are pretty dang certain that they won over $1 million in their time together. Sadly, Street passed the other day and went on to horse heaven, so in this episode, they are talking memories, how important that horse was to the Harrison family, and just all the things. So the only disclaimer I will give is that in pure Joseph fashion, he was roping when they were on the phone, it sounds like. So you are in his front pocket for this episode. So if you hear some rope swinging, maybe a little bit of noise in the background, that is why. But we wouldn't have it any other way. And we have to tell horses stories like this because of how key they are to these guys' success. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. This episode of The Score is brought to you by Smart Equine and Colicare, an innovative approach to hindgut health and colic prevention. Designed with research-backed ingredients and a unique support program, when your horse is counting on you, you can count on Colicare. Learn more at smartequine.com/colicare.
All right. I feel like I have lots of articles about Street's whole history. But when you think back about your career with him and your time with him, how do you define it? What are your reflections on 15 years or however long you had him?
A long time, yeah. Honestly, we don't get that many of those in our career. You get some good horses, and if you go through as many horses as I do, and say like Trevor Miles and a bunch of them guys, they go through a lot of horses. So you're going to get a chance to get more horses, say like that, than a guy that goes through 12 horses in his life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're going to go through more than that in a year. So you're going to get more of a chance to get more of those horses. But what sticks out for me about Street is I have been through a lot of horses in my life, and he's still probably the best one I've ever rode, the most trustworthy. When the chips were down for the biggest money, that's what I always got on while he was in fighting shape and in his prime, you know. So that tells me that there's a lot of horses that went through here while he was here.
Yeah.
And he was still what I got on for the money.
Well, and I mean, he was through a lot of eras of your life, not to be too much of a Swiftie and talk about eras, but like
Sure.
2015, you won your first world title on him in the AQHA, right? And then...
Well, I won second. I won second or third. I showed him up there twice, and I won second on him once and third once.
Didn't you win the level 2, though? Because I pulled his results.
Yeah, no, I did win the level 2 the first year they ever had it.
I know you're not really counting that, but that he did. I looked at your history on
That's a win. That's a win.
It
for
counts.
his column.
It's a globe. Yep.
Sure. Sure, 100%.
And so, but what does would he be a show horse in today's show horse era? How does he compare to today's show horses?
You know, he was just super easy and very trained and good at his job, but he probably wasn't as fancy, might not have had quite as much butt drag and some of the cool stuff that, you know, some of these are going to have. But he was the one, like, say that no matter what, I could get money on him every time, even showing him. I remember we just showed him the first time kind of by accident at Lincoln, Nebraska. One year they had, it was like 2012 maybe, or 13, I don't remember, but it might have been 13 or something. No, I'll tell you what it was like 15, because that was when I showed him the first time at the World Show, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a sweepstakes for the older horses, and it was what we're doing now, but it was just 2 and a short, and it was during the regular horse show. You run the first one during the regular horse show the first day, and that counted towards the sweepstakes deal, and then the second one the second day was, the second round steer for the sweepstakes, and then after they had a short round. And I was high back on 2, and I'm pretty sure JD beat me. I think I won second at Lincoln that time. But in doing that, we just entered him for that sweepstakes deal or whatever, but I got him qualified for the world show. So honestly, we just kind of showed him at the world show the first time, and even the second time kind of by accident. Like I won third on him, I think, the first time, and then that next winter at Fort Worth, we entered him for the fast time deal at the stock show at Fort Worth. And I won, I don't know, maybe I got him qualified right there. Took 27 points. Well, no, not right there, but I showed him one more time maybe. But I put like 25 points on him one shot, and then it took 27 for a senior heel horse. But Jody figured it up the other day, and she thought that out of the times that we showed him, the money that we won on him, because I never entered him at nothing that didn't pay money. Like Fort Worth that time, I think Clay Bob and I won second in the fast time deal. So I think grand total, I only showed him like 6 times to judges, period, like six times, and I think I won a little over 30,000 on him showing him.
That's awesome.
He's just steady Eddie, anybody. It made me feel good that for him, not for me, but for him, that when I don't even know what year that was, but I had been legging him up and riding him, but I wasn't just full-fledged riding him. And Paul got in the Kansas City deal, I think it was the Bob Motz's deal, the WCRA or whatever.
Yeah.
And I didn't get in, and we were at the Lone Star shootout or one of those ropings, and Paul's herd had been thinned down, and he had some crippled, and he only had one horse right then, and he needed to ride it at the roping. So he just come by my house on the way to Kansas City and got street, and I'm pretty sure him and Luke won that deal at Kansas City with Paul riding street.
Yeah.
So that was for me, which Paul's my friend, but for me that was a kind of a testimony to that horse that I don't know. I'm pretty sure Paul had won the world already once then, and however many horses he could borrow to get on up there, and horses already going to be there, and he stopped and picked street up and took him and rode him and kicked their butt on him. So that was really cool,
Yeah, and I remember, obviously, because they're my friends, like I remember Jackie being pregnant with Journey.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and tagging street in the deal, like.
Yeah. Well, she come to the house to get a little help with her healing right before, and that little horse, I wound up keeping the one that she brought that she was going to rope on, and I kept him around here and roped on him for a little bit for her, try to get a little further in the game, but I just sent street with her. Instead of sending her horse back with her, I just sent him with her. Like, hey, I know this one's safe. I know he's going to do what he's supposed to, and she's really pregnant, and Charlie's really not loving it, So, but he was good. Once we said she was going to ride street, he was good with it. He's like, okay, perfect. Yeah, if she can ride street, she can do it. But it was good, and I loved it because a lot of people thought. I say a lot of people think this still today that, and mine are a little tight, but they're worse for me because they've got my seat, my feet. They feel me. I'm giving cues all the time, sometimes even when I don't want to be, but mine look a little tight to the public eye. And I always liked it because I could like that. She gets on him, and she's 8 months pregnant, and she ropes good, but she's still a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she's 8 months pregnant and just wears them out on my old trusty rodeo horse that I've rode at the finals several times.
Uh-huh.
So that was kind of for all you people that think they're hard to ride, there you go.
Colic is one of the leading causes of emergency vet visits and is something every horse owner worries about. That's why SmartPack developed Colic Care, a comprehensive approach to hindgut health and colic prevention. Colic Care combines targeted digestive support with a program designed to help you stay ahead of potential issues, not just react to them. It's built on research, formulated to support a healthy gut environment, and backed by a unique benefit. Eligible horses enrolled in the program may receive up to $15,000 in colic surgery reimbursement. Whether you're hauling, training hard, or just managing day-to-day stressors, your horse's digestive system is constantly under pressure. Colic Care is designed to help you manage those risks with confidence. Visit smartequine.com to learn more about how Colic Care can support your horse's long-term health. Now let's get back into the episode.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
What did his retirement look like? What was he doing the last couple of years?
He had it pretty smooth, man. After the finals in 21, I think, I ran the first 3 on him. And I could tell that he is having, his old wheels wasn't as good as they were. He was having a tiny bit of trouble getting down the arena. And so I got off of him and I got on the Bay Capone that we sold out there at the sale. I wound up riding him a couple of times at the finals. But anyway, that street, we're on our way back after the third one to the stalls. And Jody said, well, what happened? He just looked like he was a little late. And I probably said something ugly about him being old and fat and slow. And so she said, yep, that's it. You can't ride him anymore. And I didn't really give him to her. She just kind of took him.
I love that woman. That is a woman.
Yeah, she just kind of took him. And I ran 3 steers on him in a halter about 2 years ago or something. Jody was loafing him around in a halter, exercising him, and I got on and run me a couple. And, man, he felt just like he felt in the halter and everything. I mean, for a couple of steers, he could still do it, at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But he lived pretty good, man. We were making jokes that he paid for a lot of stuff around here and made a lot of money around here, but he was slowly but surely getting it all back at the vet and stuff. Because if he bumped his knee on the stall gate, or if he didn't sweat perfect right away one time, he's down there at the vet, and her and Harvey are giving him all of the stuff, man. So he lived good. He lived at the vet quite a little bit, even when he didn't really need to, probably. But he had a very good retirement as far as that goes.
Yeah. I love that.
But I was pretty thankful for as good a care as she took of him.
She's a heck of a woman.
Mm-hmm.
What finally happened? Was he declining, or did something happen?
He's always kind of had it, I think, as far like a partially collapsed trachea. Mm-hmm. And last summer was tough for him. He wouldn't pant very good because he couldn't breathe real good. And so then he wouldn't sweat. Well, then he'd just be standing around and have him in a shade in a good stall with a porta-cool on him and the whole deal, but he'd still wind up having one time where he temped him. He looked miserable, and Jody temped him, and he had like 104 temp. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't sick at all. It was just the heat in his body, man. And I knew he was miserable, so she took him to the vet. And Harvey and Sarah, I'm very thankful for those two. And to be honest with you, Sarah, I don't want to mispronounce her last name, but it's Novotny.
Okay, I'll get it right.
Sarah Novotny. Yeah. She's amazing. I want to give her a shout out. Her and another little girl there, Erica, that does I don't remember what that's called. I don't know. It's fancy vet stuff.
Okay.
But them girls, they took really good care of him. And they would slip him in there in the ICU where it was air conditioned, and not till Harvey, and so it wouldn't cost me quite as much for him to live in ICU, you know. And but we thought last summer was it. We honestly, Jody and I went down there and was gonna tell him bye, and then them girls got him sweating. They got him on some sweat up, and did that whatever that is that Miss Erica does, and got him sweating, and he did fine. And then he made it to when the weather cooled off, and he was good all winter, you know. But I knew, man, when it got sultry hot this summer where we didn't have a lot of air and stuff, he was going to have trouble. And sure enough, he did. He couldn't sweat, and he couldn't breathe, and you could see it in his eyes. He was just miserable, man. So we took him back down there, and the girls, they worked him over and loved him and treated him and all the stuff. And we just, all of us together, kind of come to the, realization that he's just going to be miserable, and I didn't want him like that. He had a good life, and he was really good at his job, and he loved to heel steers. Jody she'd be riding him around the arena and throw the reins down and just kick it and let him go wherever he wanted to go, and he would go get in the heel box and turn around. Like he wanted to run them. He loved it. So all that being said, I kind of looked at it like if it was me, and I'm laying there on my deathbed and I'm miserable. I hope somebody pulls the plug on me. I don't want to lay there like that. So we made the decision, and it was tough. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, it was tough. But
yeah, I'm sure you've lost horses before, but that one hits different probably.
Well, we've had them die unexpected of stuff, and get sick and spend a ton of money on them trying to save them, and then die anyway. And it's not that, like the kids, everybody, regardless of what they say, they've got a favorite, So,
yeah.
He's just been my favorite the whole time, man. He was just so trustworthy, and I like a big horse, and he was, for heel horses wise goes, we sticked him and weighed him one year right before the finals, because I'd said on a not a podcast at that point, but an interview or something, that he was 15-1, and I had some of the guys, like there's no way he's 15-1, So sure enough, we sticked him and weighed him at Harvey's when he gone through one year right before the finals, and he sticked 15-1 right on the dot and weighed 1,310 pounds.
That'll stop a steer. That will stop
He was a big
run.
rascal, yeah.
Yep.
He was a big old soggy rascal, yeah. So, and he didn't have to, he didn't have to do a bunch of extra fancy special getting on his butt the right way and that stuff to stop him, because he was so big. But he's just always in a good place, and I'm just glad to have had the time that I had with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a favorite memory, a favorite win?
Oh, it was funny. Yeah, for sure. The biggest single check that I've ever got in my life was at the American that year with Luke. And so I've got that picture of us getting it on in the house, but then I've got another picture that I'm doing my best to remember that boy's name. He is such a sweet kid, and he lives right out there in Nevada. He pencil drew it, and I'll have to take a picture of it in the house and send to you. But it was, once I got where I could see the video TV in the middle of the arena, where I could see that we were fast enough and we won first, I got excited, and I squirted him up there to Luke was riding Cowboy, and I squirted him up there to him, and I was hugging Luther, and Luther was scared I was going to knock his hat off in the arena. He said the whole time, he said, that's all I could think of. You're going to knock off my hat. But when Street was just this way. When they made me give my horse to him where I could get right on that wagon and go around. Then they dropped me off on the other side of the arena.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just Jody and I didn't have any help with us there that day. And I backed the cinches off because I do every time I get off. It's just a thing I do.
Sure.
I just can't not. So when I got off of him, I backed the cinches off of him. And by the time we got done with pictures and interviewing and all this stuff, I got my check and my stuff and went right out the front door there. And my rig was not far, and Jody's right there and no Street. And I said, hey, babe, did you not get Street? She said, well, I don't even know how to get down there or where he's at or nothing. Okay, perfect. Well, we'd been in there a long time, and the rodeo had been over, and most of the lights were off. Like, it wasn't completely pitch black dark in there. You could still see. But I walked back down the way we go in, down the tunnel, right up there, and there's a loadout chute right at the back where they back up there, pitch a stock into the pens. And he's just tied there by the bridle reins, just hanging out there. And another horse, a person, there's nobody in there. And he's just hanging out there with a leg cocked. Like he's find somebody to come back and get me eventually, But he wasn't distraught. He wasn't nickering. He wasn't, like, that's just how he was.
Mm-hmm.
He could haul him by himself, time away from everything. He'd be the only one at the rodeo grounds, and he was just as content as if he had another horse there with him.
That's awesome. I love that story.
So,
Can you just imagine a horse that just won 100,000 just chilling in like a stadium with the lights off?
yeah, he's just hanging out in there, man. Still had the boots on and everything. So, yeah. But anyway, no, he was pretty special to us, and there's a lot of people that reached out, and I'm very thankful for them, and that they knew he was what he was. That was his testament. That was how good he was. Is they cared about him, so that was awesome.
I love that. Absolutely. No, I said I didn't want to. Well, and then Jody had texted me when she had texted about how much he's won. I didn't know it was because things were imminent. I was so sad to find out that he passed away because I didn't know.
Yes,
I didn't know it was because things were imminent in that regard. So, but we think he's probably won over $1 million, huh?
Just between the American and the times I rode him at the finals and that stuff, the money that he accumulated just at those places, we figured it up at almost $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, through the regular season and amateur rodeoing and the jackpots, and I don't even know, because I used to jackpot on him quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no idea, and that's one of the, I wish I would have kept, a record of that stuff and wrote it in my book like I was supposed to.
Yeah.
But I didn't because I'm lazy, and now I don't have it. But I know for sure I won over $1 million on him.
Yeah. Yeah, because what we come up with almost probably just in what I could find on the internet, probably almost 100,000 just at amateur rodeos, just with what's still on the internet from the last 2 decades. So,
Well, the other guys, not a lot of them rode him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if Pat ever rode him or not. I thought Pat rode him. I know he rode my other ones, Chip, and I know he rode Lula, and he rode some of those. I don't know if he ever rode Street or not, but I know Jake Long rode him. Travis Graves rode him. There were several guys that rode him, whether we were practicing somewhere. Billy Jack rode him one time. And it was cool. Everybody that ever rode him, that like Jake Long had, a couple of them horses that were really, really good. Colonel was amazing. And Paul had Cadillac, and he's had so many that were good, But everybody said, man, you're not going to put somebody's good one ahead of your good one on the list. Your old favorite one. He was your old favorite one. But that's what everybody says every time they ride is, or they rode him, was, man, outside of Colonel, or outside of Caddy, or outside of Manny, man, he's got to be the best one I've ever been on,
Yeah.
So that made me feel good for him, he's that kind of athlete.
I love it. Well, I appreciate it, Joseph. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty, y'all, that does it for this episode of The Score. I hope everybody enjoyed getting to hear Street and Joseph's story. I know I sure did. I obviously watched him on that horse for years, but had no idea the story and just how important he was. I think they said it was a 15-year journey, so you got to talk about horses like that when they're that key to someone's success and the lucrative career that Joseph has made heeling steers. It sounds like that horse was a pretty special part of it. Another thanks goes out to Smart Equine and Colic for their sponsoring of this episode. Remember, if you're looking to take a proactive approach to your horse's digestive health, check out Colic at smartequine.com. Thanks for listening, guys. We will catch you at the next one.